leadership from the first moments of this attack. We're going to make sure you have what you need to protect your people, to defend your nation. For decades, we've ensured Israel's qualitative military edge. And later this week, I'm going to ask the United States Congress for an unprecedented support package for Israel's defense. We're going to keep Iron Dome fully supplied so it can continue standing sentinel over Israeli skies, saving Israeli lives. We've moved U.S. military assets to the region, including positioning the USS Ford Carrier Strike Group in the Eastern Mediterranean, with the USS Eisenhower on the way to defer further aggression against Israel and to prevent this conflict from spreading. The world will know that Israel is stronger than ever. And my message to any state or any other hostile actor thinking about attacking Israel remains the same as it was a week ago. Don't. Since this terrorist attack took place, we've seen it described as Israel's 9/11. Though for a nation the size of Israel, it was like 15 9/11s. The scale may be different, but I'm sure those horrors have tapped into some kind of primal feeling in Israel, just like it did and felt in the United States. Shock, pain, rage, an all-consuming rage. I understand, and many Americans understand. You can't look at what has happened here to your mothers, your fathers, your grandparents, sons, daughters, children, even babies, and not scream out for justice. Justice must be done. But I caution this: while you feel that rage, don't be consumed by it. After 9/11, we were enraged in the United States. While we sought justice and got justice, we also made mistakes. I'm the first U.S. president to visit Israel in time of war. I've made wartime decisions. I know the choices are never clear or easy for the leadership. There's always cost, but it requires being deliberate. It requires asking very hard questions. It requires clarity about the objectives and an honest assessment about whether the path you're on will achieve those objectives. The vast majority of Palestinians are not Hamas. Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. Hamas uses innocent families in Gaza as human shields, putting their command centers, their weapons, their communications tunnels in residential areas. Palestinian people are suffering greatly as well. We mourn the loss of innocent Palestinian lives like the entire world. I was outraged and saddened by the enormous loss of life yesterday in the hospital in Gaza. Based on the information we've seen to date, it appears the result of an errant rocket fired by a terrorist group in Gaza. The United States unequivocally stands for the protection of civilian life during conflict, and I truly grieve for the families who were killed or wounded by this tragedy. The people of Gaza need food, water, medicine, shelter. Today I asked the Israeli cabinet, who I met with for some time this morning, to agree to the delivery of life-saving humanitarian assistance to civilians in Gaza, based on the understanding that there will be inspections and that the aid should go to civilians, not to Hamas. Israel agreed the humanitarian assistance can begin to move from Egypt to Gaza. But let me be clear: if Hamas diverts or steals the assistance, they will have demonstrated once again that they have no concern for the welfare of the Palestinian people. And it will end. As a practical matter, it will stop the international community from being able to provide this aid. We're working in close cooperation with the government of Egypt, the United Nations, and its agencies like the World Food Program and other partners in the region to get trucks moving across the border as soon as possible. Separately, I ask Israel that the global community demand that the International Red Cross be able to visit hostages. I just demanded that the United States fully supports. Today, I'm also announcing $100 million in new U.S. funding for humanitarian assistance in both Gaza and the West Bank. This money will support more than 1 million displaced and conflict-affected Palestinians, including emergency needs in Gaza. You are a Jewish state. You are a Jewish state, but you're also a democracy. And like the United States, you don't live by the rules of terrorists. You live by the rule of law. And when conflicts flare, you live by the law of wars. What sets us apart from the terrorists is we believe in the fundamental dignity of every human life. Israeli, Palestinian, Arab, Jew, Muslim, Christian, everyone. You can't give up what makes you who you are. If you give that up.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Israel has started to bombard Gaza in retaliation for the act of barbaric terror unleashed on the people of Israel. Netanyahu has announced his intent. There is going to be a solid ground offensive. The Hamas is in panic. There is a definite division of the world order between those who believe that Israel has the right to retaliate for the killing of its people, for the murder of its babies, for the rapes on Israeli women, and for the abduction of children and the elderly. And on the other side, the wokes. Everything you ask them, they say, look at the root cause. So-called liberals become the strongest support base for terrorists. Rape is not resistance, and murder has no morality. If you agree with me, take a stance. Say openly, but say with pride and say with aggression. Tell these wokes, rape is not resistance, and murder has no morality.
Thank you for staying with Republic and well with the festival of Durga Puja. The craze of Garba is in the air. We are now getting you a video on how Gujarat is celebrating this festival in a unique way. Take a look.
we have been reporting from Kibbutz Be'eri, which is the worst hit area by the Hamas attack. As you can see, there are bullet magazines, there are helmets of the Hamas terrorists, and the complete area has been cordoned off. We have been reporting with the Israel Defense Force. There were more than 120 people who were killed. Not only this, but the children and the people were abducted from Kibbutz Be'eri. So there is an alert. There is an alert which has been given by. As you can hear, there are explosion which is been underway, and we have been reporting from Kibbutz. As you can see, there are explosion that has been the rocket that has been fired by the Hamas, which is now been intercepted by Israel.
Right now we are at a place that has been declared as a war zone. रॉकेट लॉन्चर से स्ट्राइक किया गया था और पूरा इलाका जो है वो इस वक्त आपको दिखेगा कि तबाह हो गया है। इजराइल के जो स्पेशल फोर्सेस हैं वो यहां पर जा रही हैं। रॉकेट जो है वो यहां पर दागे जा रहे हैं। तंत्र से कहूंगा कि वो नीचे हो जाए और वो देखिए आप हमारे सिर के ऊपर से पास में जो है वो यहां पे मिसाइल्स गिरी हैं। 50 से 70 गोलियां जो हैं इस गाड़ी पर दागी गई, जिसके बाद हमास के आतंकी यहां से आगे की ओर निकले।
Israel has started to bombard Gaza in retaliation for the act of barbaric terror unleashed on the people of Israel. Netanyahu has announced his intent. There is going to be a solid ground offensive. The Hamas is in panic. There is a definite division of the world order between those who believe that Israel has the right to retaliate for the killing of its people, for the murder of its babies, for the rapes on Israeli women, and for the abduction of children and the elderly. And on the other side, the wokes. Everything you ask them, they say, look at the root cause. So-called liberals become the strongest support base for terrorists. Rape is not resistance, and murder has no morality. If you agree with me, take a stance. Say openly, but say with pride and say with aggression. Tell these wokes, rape is not resistance and murder has no morality.